We thought we had seen it all in hip-hop and love, but this feud between Kirk Frost and Mendeecees has turned deadly. They aren't just teasing each other anymore. Someone might not survive this. Hold on, did Kirk really set up Mendeecees? Was this some kind of mafia-level ambush captured on camera? Why is MC suddenly getting a lawyer and coming for blood, bro? The streets are talking, the blogs are buzzing, and let's just say nobody is safe because we were leaked. Get your popcorn ready because this plot twist is more outrageous than a seasoned female cliffhanger. Let's break down the chaos, the drama, and the danger behind this love and hip-hop war between Mendeecees and Kirk Frost, two names that have been making headlines. It includes alleged CCTV footage and some shocking receipts that will make you rethink everything about Kirk Frost, who is about to be exposed, who is making desperate power moves behind the scenes, and most importantly, who is about to lose everything. The streets are talking and the tea is hot, but trust me, you weren't prepared for what's about to happen. You thought it was just some trivial reality TV drama, but no, it has turned into something much more sinister. We're talking about backstabbing, secret meetings, and moves being made in the dark that could change everything. Let's go back a moment. You know him, the man has been caught. On the other side, Kirk Frost, a man who has built his brand on being a businessman, a father, and an all-around cool guy, is involved in a lot of controversy, from his legal battles to the messy relationship drama with Yandy Smith. However, what if I told you that this time, he wasn't just dealing with a courtroom or an argument at a reunion special? No, this was real life, and it was life or death. According to sources, Kirk and Mendeecees have been at odds for months. What began as a simple misunderstanding has escalated into a full-fledged conflict, and it appears that those skeletons in his closet are about to come crashing down. The cameras have always been there, and there have been whispers about everything from cheating scandals to shady deals. You won't believe how deep it goes. At first, it seemed like a normal industry feud, a dispute over money, a business that was still failing. Some he said, some she said, but then things changed. Meetings began to take place behind closed doors. People began to vanish from the conversation. And then the biggest bombshell of all was rumors of a secret attack. Yes, an attack. A planned, coordinated, deadly move with a single goal. Mendeecees out. I know what you're thinking. Kirk wouldn't do that. He's not that kind of guy, but let me remind you that anything can happen when money is involved. Reputations are at risk, and egos are hurt. The most absurd part is that Mendeecees saw it coming. Somehow, he knew that Kirk was planning something behind the scenes, and rather than waiting for it to happen, he chose to change the course of events. Do you recall that exclusive CCTV footage? It turns out that the video that went viral last week wasn't just a random altercation. Rather, it was evidence that Kirk's people had been following me for weeks, waiting for the right opportunity to attack. That night was supposed to be the night, but they weren't prepared for Mendeecees to be ready. Let's take a closer look at this image. Mendeecees is outgoing about his business, believing it to be just another typical night, but something seems strange. His instincts kick in, and just as he's about to get into his car, boom, masked men rush in. It's chaos and madness. People are screaming, and just when it looks like he might not make it out, his security team steps in. A scuffle breaks out, punches are thrown, and someone pulls out a gun. Maybe it's the way the same car keeps showing up no matter where he goes, or maybe it's the way people in the crowd look a little too familiar. Weapon, and before you know it, the entire incident is captured on camera. This is where things get even wilder because as soon as the video was released, people began to piece together why those masked men who attacked Mendeecees weren't just some random thugs. Rather, the prevailing rumor is that they were connected to a wealthy individual who had the ability to pull strings behind the scenes and make things disappear. You can guess whose name kept appearing in those. Kirk Frost conversations. Listen, I don't know about you guys, but this doesn't seem like a coincidence to me. And apparently Mendeecees felt the same way because the very next day he filed a case. That's right, Mendeecees went straight to the authorities with what he had, and let me tell you, he didn't hold back. Sources close to the situation say that he gave them all the information, including names, footage, and a list of people who could testify against Kirk. Real fireworks began because if Kirk had thought that this would simply go away, he was completely mistaken. He wasn't merely attempting to handle this behind closed doors. Rather, he was making this public, which meant that Kirk was officially in the hot seat. As you are all aware, this industry operates like this. When one scandal occurs, the floodgates open, and let me tell you, this was only the beginning because people began to dig up information about Kirk. The whole situation looks even worse now. If you thought that M's filing that case was the end of it, you are not prepared for what happened next because, believe me, Kirk Frost's situation only got worse. When M took this public, Kirk had no choice but to respond, but the worst thing you can do when you're under a lot of pressure is to speak up. And that's exactly what Kirk did instead of remaining silent. In the midst of a full-blown legal crisis, Kirk decided it would be a good idea to hop on social media and try to clear his name in front of thousands of viewers. When I say this was a train wreck, I mean it was a complete disaster. Instead of letting his lawyers handle it, or even just issuing a simple "I have no involvement in this" type of statement, Kirk did something that no one expected. "I don't know where this is coming from," Kirk began. "I have nothing to do with any of this, man. They try to make me out to be somebody I'm not." However, Kirk never actually denied the allegations. So now tell me why someone accused you of planning an attack on me. He looked stressed, as if I hadn't slept in 3 days, and my lawyer had just warned me that I might be in serious trouble. If you were another man, you wouldn't say, "That's a lie. I had nothing to do with that." Instead, Kirk was merely blaming blogs, haters, and people who were twisting the truth in the comments section. People weren't buying it, and one viewer wrote, "Bro, just say you didn't do it. Why all the extra talk?" Just when you thought things couldn't get any worse, another viewer commented. Yes, Kirk's own wife, Rashida, appeared in the comments. Let's just say that she wasn't supporting her husband on this one because, rather than defending Kirk, she made a comment that shocked everyone. "I told you that this was going to catch up to you." Excuse me, but what does that mean? Instagram was in ruins, Twitter went crazy, and the blog began to analyze everything because, let's face it, if your own wife is out there implying that you've been involved in some dubious activities that aren't good for my guy. But here's where it gets even worse. Wilder M's wasn't finished. While Kirk was out there making a fool of himself on Instagram Live, M wasn't just sitting around waiting for things to happen. He was moving, and the next move, oh, it was a big one, was that less than 48 hours after Kirk's disastrous live session, a new video surfaced. Let me set the scene for you. Mean to tell me that just days before the ambush on Mainz, Kirk was spotted sitting at a table having a full-on conversation with the same man who was later caught on camera attempting to take Mendeecees out. This was not grainy, nor was it just a random surveillance clip from across the street. Instead, it was crystal clear, high-quality video, and guess what? It showed Kirk having a secret meeting with one of the masked men from the attack. Since then, the internet has been in full detective mode, with people analyzing the video frame by frame and drawing conclusions that this was not a coincidence. Oh, and these sources also obtained receipts showing that Kirk was speaking with a man who had previously been involved in some serious business. We're not talking about love and hip-hop drama, but rather about real-life underground off-the-record business, and Kirk was sitting down with him just days before Mendeecees was attacked. Things weren't looking good at this point, and Kirk was losing control of the story. Then, just when he thought things couldn't get any worse, the police stepped in. Yes, the police started an investigation, and once they did, M's legal team came forward and said they had more proof that they hadn't released yet, and you know what that means. They're holding on to the real. Meanwhile, Kirk, was frantically cleaning up because the feds were now watching, and it wasn't just the internet talking. Trust me, you better hope your hands are clean when you're under that kind of scrutiny. However, the problem is that Kirk's hands aren't clean, and you want to know why? Because the more this investigation went into it, the more dirt came up because of what people started. Kirk still had some leeway up until this point, so he could have played this off as a big misunderstanding, saying things like, "Oh, I didn't know that guy," or "It was just a business bus meeting." But I know once the feds start looking around in Kirk's past, let's say this situation might be even worse than we thought. When the police got involved, the door was slammed shut because, as you may know, when they begin an investigation, they don't stop at a single crime. And let's just say that Kirk wasn't the first person to play dirty. When they took his financial records, that's when things started to fall apart because, let me ask you all, how does a man who has been struggling for years and has been pleading to keep his businesses afloat manage to do it? The investigators discovered that Kirk had been sitting on a whole secret bankroll when they looked at his financial records. And guess what? The numbers did not add up. We're talking about millions in consulting fees, random wire transfers, and offshore accounts popping up left and right. Who has been complaining about how much money he's losing suddenly has millions moving in and out of his accounts? Remember that mysterious. This is no longer a mere reality TV drama. It's a comprehensive criminal investigation, and the charges under investigation are grave. They involve a conspiracy to commit assault. It turns out that Kirk had previously paid the masked man involved in the attack. What specific business does Kirk have with paying a man known for his involvement in street activity? Oh yes, Kirk is done. And the worst part is that Mendeecees knew all along because, guess what? He had a plan. You see, this man had been keeping receipts for years, and Mendeecees knew Kirk had been unclean and was acting shaddily. The moment Kirk crossed the line, boom, and pulled the trigger on this entire takedown. And that's not even the most insane part. Started talking because, well, when you're in the business, people know you're dirty. As soon as Kirk appeared weak, all of his supposed friends turned against him, and more leaked texts and phone conversations appeared. Rashida even stopped standing up for him. Yes, his own wife, because, as you may recall, she made that dubious remark during his Instagram live. And that was only the beginning because she distanced herself once the police got involved. Rashida was acting like a ride-or-die wife one minute, and then she was out there telling the media that she didn't know anything. You know what? That means she's preparing to defend herself because, let's face it, she's not going down with him. If your wife no longer believes in you, that's it. And just when Kirk thought it couldn't get any worse, it did, because the feds don't just look into things. Kirk's time was up after the arrest, which occurred at precisely 6:45 a.m. on a typical Tuesday. They came with search warrants, broke down his doors, took away all of his belongings, including his laptop, documents, and hard drive. And before Kirk could even put on his slippers, he was in handcuffs. Oh, they got him. And you know, the moment that mugshot appeared online, the memes went crazy because Kirk was caught playing mafia boss and Rashida was going to act like she didn't even know him. In reality though, they weren't wrong because Kirk was playing checkers and Mendeecees played chess. He didn't just win, he destroyed Kirk's entire career. Kirk, oh baby, isn't recovering from this because you know what the industry does to people who get involved in scandals like this. The irony is that the man who attempted to remove Mendeecees ended up removing himself because, while Kirk is sitting in a cold jail cell, Mendeecees is out here winning. If that isn't the biggest plot twist ever, I don't know what is. What do you guys think? Did Kirk do this to himself? Was this all part of M's master plan? In addition, what is Rashid going to do next? Let's face it, she isn't. Stay tuned for one of the most outrageous confrontations in the history of love and hip-hop. Kirk Frost believed he was untouchable, believed he could play the game and win, believed he could pull a fast one on, and if you want more exclusive tea like this, leave your thoughts in the comments, hit the like button, and subscribe. Oh, and trust me, this isn't even the end of the drama because, baby, what we just uncovered is just the beginning. And still maintained his little empire. But look at him now. His career in flames is ruined, his reputation is on the line, and he's sitting back drinking as he watches Kirk fail like it's the greatest season finale ever. But the real question is, Did Kirk deserve this? Did karma finally catch up with him, or did I take things too far? And let's not forget, is Rashina going to pack her bags and leave Kirk in the dust, or will she attempt to save him by pulling a ride or die move? If so, please share your thoughts in the comment section below. I'm curious to know which side you support. Oh, and don't think this drama is over. Trust me, this story is far from over. Please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and enable notifications because, baby, the next bombshell will shake the industry even more. Stay tuned.